Hello and welcome to the Autotech Review channel. Today we have with us the Hyundai Grand i10 Nios, which was launched a few days back. The Hyundai Grand i10 Nios will sit in between the Grand i10 and the Hyundai i20. It comes with a brand new design philosophy, design scheme from Hyundai's stable globally, and we will tell you a lot about the technology, the features, the engine, which of course will feature a petrol Bharat Stage 6 compliant engine. So stay tuned as we tell you everything there is to know about the new Hyundai Grand i10 Nios. So to begin things off, we have a brand new design scheme on the Hyundai Grand i10 Nios, and as you can see, there is a very dynamic look in the front. You can see similarities to the new Hyundai Venue as well. The grille up front has that look. You also have these unique boomerang shape LED DRLs which have been implemented. You also get projector headlamps for the first time on the Hyundai Grand i10, but this is of course the Grand i10 Nios. Plenty of funky design elements on the bumper up front. You can see fog lamps as well being offered on the new Grand i10. Quite interestingly, the side profile as well gives the Hyundai Grand i10 enhanced look. So over the side you have these distinct design elements you can see, and the character lines which are flowing out of the rear as well as in the front. So they do give the new Grand i10 longer proportions, and it looks bigger than it was. You also have 15-inch alloy wheels on offer, as well as a blacked out B pillar, blacked out C pillar, and the Grand i10 emblem insignia up here on the C pillar. Moving over to the rear, you have distinct tail lamps. You have a tailgate which is rather broad, and you get the Nios emblem as well on the Grand i10. The vehicle also gets a rear parking camera as well as sensors in the rear, and you have this blacked out bit over here on the rear bumper, also adding character. Boot space on the Grand i10 Nios measures 260 liters, so that's plenty of luggage room for your weekend getaways. The rear also features a high mounted stop lamp as well as a shark fin antenna.
The all-new Hyundai Grand i10 Nios offers spacious interiors. In the front, the company is offering headroom of 1010 mm, legroom of 1050 mm, and a shoulder room of 1326 mm. In the rear, the company is offering a headroom of 985 mm, which is almost 43 mm more than the Maruti Suzuki Swift, a legroom of 885 mm, which is 35 mm more than the Maruti Suzuki Swift, and a shoulder room of 1325 mm, which is nearly 15 mm more than that of the Maruti Suzuki Swift.
So Hyundai has reworked the interiors of the all-new Grand i10 Nios, and a very contemporary design scheme which does come in line with what Hyundai's global design philosophy is. So you will see a lot of design similarities on the Nios as well as vehicles which will be coming in from the Hyundai stables in India. So moving over to the Nios, you have a lot of new design cues and elements which we haven't seen on Hyundai vehicles before. For example, this integrated infotainment unit connected with the instrument cluster gives a very ergonomic feel to the cabin. The operations are also quite easy, and for visibility it has been increased, the height has been increased, so for driver visibility it is enhanced. The Hyundai Venue also offers similarities in design to what we've seen on the Kona, so this layout of the dash as well. The center cluster looks similar to that of the Hyundai Kona. Hyundai has offered a lot of features on the all-new Grand i10 Nios. So you get automatic start-stop, USB and charging connectivity. So you have dedicated slots for USB connectivity and for charging as well. Hyundai will be offering other features including 8-inch touchscreen infotainment unit. You also get this unit which is usable with Android Auto as well as Apple CarPlay. Other than that, Hyundai has offered more features on this, including a first in segment DRVM, which is a driver rear view monitoring system that can be used while you are driving, and you just click on this and you can see the view of the road behind you in case you are driving at night. It is quite handy. Moving over to the instrument cluster, Hyundai has enhanced the instrument cluster as well, so you have more digital and a part analog cluster. The speedo is digital while the RPM gauge is an analog one. The MID as well is a digital cluster. Other features include voice commands, steering mounted controls. Hyundai has also offered a push button start stop function on the all new Grand i10 Nios. The dash gets this satin like finish, and you can see these honeycomb kind of inserts which have been used all around the dash top, so that is an interesting bit. Plenty of cubby holes and storage spaces on the Hyundai Grand i10 Nios. And another first in segment feature is the wireless charging setup which Hyundai is offering. It is not available on all variants, however Hyundai has offered it on the top spec variants of the all new Grand i10 Nios. The new design scheme also gets honeycomb inserts with satin finish over here on the center floor console as well as on the door trims. The fabric as well, the upholstery has been updated, so Hyundai is offering a pale grey finish on the upholstery, and it gives a very refreshing look to the all new Grand i10 Nios. Hyundai has also optimized the A pillar and enhanced it to 10.5 degrees, so the driver has a better view of the road in front and while taking turns. The size of the ORVMs as well has been increased, and even in the rear, view from the rear has been enhanced. The length of the rear window is 1001 mm, and that's quite long, so the view from the rear has been enhanced. So in the rear you have plenty of seating room, you have a lot of seating comfort as well, because Hyundai has enhanced the rear bench and optimized it for the seating position in the cabin. Hyundai has tweaked the angle of the rear bench and also has enhanced the under thigh support, which Hyundai claims is much better than most of the vehicles that it is offering in India. So you have ample of under thigh support. You also have immense amount of knee room, immense amount of leg room to stretch out. The seat as well is quite flat, and the floor as well is quite flat with the tunnel, not too intrusive. So the overall passenger comfort for 3 people in the rear will be quite comfortable. You also have rear AC vents and a 12-volt charging socket. Hyundai is also offering a map pocket in the rear. So ample of functionality built into the rear as well. You don't have adjustable head restraints on the Hyundai Grand i10 Nios, so even for the front or for the rear you don't get adjustable head restraints, which is downside, but however Hyundai has given it a premium and modern feel in this cabin. The headroom as well in the Grand i10 Nios is quite good. So I am about 5'7", and there is a reasonable amount of headroom in the Grand i10 Nios, so would definitely say it's better than some of the competitors that this car will go up against. For example, the Maruti Suzuki Swift. Large window panes and all around visibility is excellent, so the roomy feel inside this cabin is great. So Hyundai will be offering the Grand i10 Nios with 2 engine options. You have a 1.2 liter petrol, which is a naturally aspirated unit, and a 1.2 liter turbocharged diesel. Now the petrol is being offered with manual as well as AMT, and the diesel also is being offered with a manual and AMT option. The difference between the two, however, is that the petrol is being offered as BS6 compliant, while the diesel is still at BS4. Hyundai has stated that before the norms kick in, they will be bringing in the BS6 compliant diesel engine of the Grand i10 Nios. For this review, we have the U2 1.2 litre turbocharged diesel engine with us, which comes mated with the AMT transmission. This engine produces approximately 75 PS of power that comes in roughly at 4000 RPM. It also produces 19.4 kgm of torque, which comes in low in the band at 1750 RPM. The engine has been rated for a fuel efficiency of 26.2 kmpl according to ARAI. Now to drive, the AMT is more meant for city driving purposes, and when you are in bumper to bumper traffic, the two-pedal technology will of course relieve your stress, and because this is an in-house developed system from Hyundai which uses electronic motor actuation, it is a bit quicker than those first generation hydraulic actuated motor units, which took a little longer to shift gears. That said, when you do want to get going in a hurry and you slow down on the accelerator, there is a reasonable amount of head nod and a reasonable amount of breathing time in the engine, of course, because it is a diesel and you have to wait for the turbo to kick in. But if you are ambling around in city traffic or in city speeds of between 30 to 40 kmph, then it's not too bad. The steering as well feels sporty. It's slightly on the heavier side, but is quite precise to driver inputs, especially when you are driving fast. Shorter inputs of course will definitely help, and that added weight gives it an advantage, and it feels light while you are slow or parking into tight spaces. The steering doesn't feel too heavy. The suspension on the Hyundai Grand i10 Nios is on the softer side, and most of the potholes and bumps are definitely felt inside the cabin, but the damping is not too bad, and if you are driving at faster speeds and going over potholes or broken roads, you will definitely feel that in the cabin with occupants being tossed around a little bit. However, if you are slow, the damping is much better, and you don't get tossed around too much inside the cabin of the Grand i10 Nios. While driving at higher speeds as well, the vehicle feels quite planted to the road and is stable. Hyundai has also implemented a 65% combination of advanced and high strength steel, so the vehicle is sturdy on the road. The rigidity of the body structure as well aids, especially when you are driving on winding roads and when you are in those twisties. You do feel in control. That, along with the heavy steering setup, will definitely give you a more pleasurable drive experience. The visibility from the front and the rear has been enhanced. ORVM visibility as well has been increased, with the ORVMs being elongated a little bit. So even the driver's point of view is fantastic on the new Grand i10 Nios. A point which we did not like is the NVH on this diesel variant, especially when you are ambling around in speeds between 60 to 70 kmph. There is definitely a significant amount of vibrations which we have felt in the cabin. All in all, the Grand i10 Nios does offer a great fuel efficiency, and the overall drive comfort and feel of the Grand i10 Nios is pleasurable. If you are interested in a vehicle in this segment, we would definitely ask you to go to a showroom, check out the Grand i10 Nios, and if you are considering something like the Swift, don't worry, we will soon set up a comparison review of the Grand i10 Nios along with the Maruti Suzuki Swift. Now this AMT is also being offered with a manual shift option, so for those of you who would like to shift manually as well, that is another added advantage to have. Braking on the Grand i10 Nios is facilitated by a front disc and rear drum setup. The Grand i10 Nios, of course, will be offered with ABS as well as ESP. Other safety features include driver and passenger airbags being offered on the top spec variants. Well, that's it from my side, ladies and gentlemen. We have definitely enjoyed driving around in the new Grand i10 Nios. We unfortunately haven't been able to drive the 1.2 litre petrol BS6 compliant engine, but do stay tuned for a performance review of that as well. Diesel, however, we did feel is fun to drive. Along with the AMT, is fantastic for city driving, considering it has great fuel efficiency as well as the comfort of two-pedal technology. Overall, at the price point at which it is being offered and considering the features as well as the design language that has been implemented on the Grand i10 Nios, it's definitely worth a look for those millennial buyers who are looking for a well-endowed package that is value for money. We hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the Auto Tech Review channel for all the latest action from the automotive industry. If you haven't done it yet, do hit that bell icon and stay updated with the latest from the automotive industry.